Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to your 10th session of Book Clubs Across Borders between Peshawar and Nangarhar. The book that we are discussing today is 99 Nights in Logar, written by Jamil Jan Kochai. I will give a brief introduction to this book before we start our conversation. This book is basically written in the form of an epic tale of a boy returning to his hometown in Logar, Afghanistan, where he reconnects with his family, he reconnects with his cousins, and forms a bond with the family dog Hudabash as well. The bond that he forms with his family dog is an strange kind of bond, but you can see while reading this book, you can see that bonds developing and him getting attached to the dog as well. And even when the dog escapes, he accompanies his cousins and his uncles to find that dog. So that whole book, the 99 nights that he spends in looking for the dog, it's the whole book is about that. So I would like to ask my colleague Eamon Imran to give a brief summary of this book, to share her views. So Eamon, over to you.
All right. I'm giving a little summary of 99 Nights in Logar, which is written by Jamil Jan Kochai. So it's about, the story is told through the eyes of Marwand, who's a 12-year-old boy who's originally from Afghanistan but lives or grew up in the US and then goes back to Logar in Afghanistan on a family visit. And the entire premise is around a massive guard dog, a very powerful guard dog who escapes from the family compound that he had been guarding, and how Marwan, then accompanied by his cousins, leaves on a journey to find the missing dog. And throughout their journey, in which they are sort of adventuring, let's say, through the landscape of Logar, and experiencing different things and witnessing different things. And throughout that journey, the reader is also kind of experiencing various small stories or incidents or snippets, let's say, of snippets basically of Afghan history and culture and life in Afghanistan during this journey of finding the dog, right? So it is sort of, you can say, a way of learning about the country, and even our protagonist and Marwan, through whose eyes we are witnessing the story, is at the same time learning more about his homeland. And at times he's uncomfortable, or you can see struggling with his own language, with the history of the area, with not knowing certain things that he perhaps conventionally should have known, right? But it is through this journey that the reader and Marwand together sort of, not, even if they do not understand rationally everything that's happening and everything about Afghanistan, life in Afghanistan, its history, its culture, but they certainly do experience it. So the story, in that sense, what I'm trying to say is that it's more about experiencing the smaller tales and the smaller stories that are part of the entire book, right? And yeah, so basically those stories then they span across a multitude of elements and themes. There are celebrations, there are tragedies, he's basically weaving folk tales, which basically most of these things are designed to show how Afghanistan is more than just the war-torn and ragged sort of a country that it is depicted as in Western media, as well as the larger on a larger international scale, right? So he sort of weaves together these multitude of themes and thematic stories, like folk tales, Islamic stories, oral histories, right? Histories that are passed down from families and not necessarily written in textbooks to be read by foreigners, right? And he sort of weaves together this semi-real, magical, realist sort of a world to experience Afghanistan rather than understand it in a very sort of a logical, rational sense, right? So he's just depicting the landscape of something of a life that sort of goes beyond war and suffocation, and shows Afghanistan as a living, breathing area that has been there since a very long time and has seen and done a lot and has experienced a lot. So therefore, the search, which is punctuated by various interruptions in which you kind of experience these little stories, those interruptions are embraced rather than seen as something that is interrupting the main premise of looking for the dog. It is these interruptions during the journey that sort of allow the reader and Marwan to experience the area whilst looking for the dog, right? So looking for the dog is basically a tool of understanding, for understanding of, not understanding, but experiencing Afghanistan, right? And like I mentioned, Marwan himself is not entirely the most reliable guide. He is, along with the reader, trudging across along the journey and becoming comfortable and at certain times uncomfortable with it. And he's also just experiencing it. So the entire book is basically a collection of bits and pieces of stories which are put together to share lives and sort of create a not perhaps a very logical sort of organized history, but a source of collective memory and in the form of tales, right? And they sort of show what Afghanistan has experienced generally. So that's what it is mostly about.
Thank you so much, everyone, for connecting with us today. It was lovely hearing from all of you. Keep on reading, keep on sharing books, keep on exchanging books with your friends, and we'll see you next time, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.